Hey guys, it's Burgos here, and in this video I'm going to make a rank list of the infantry, which infantry is going to be on which place. I have to point something before I jump. This is not actually a awakening list. What I mean by that is, if you get my list as an example which hero to awake first, maybe this is not going to be a good strategy, and I'm going to explain why. For example, if you have Kuma and Lee Kuan, this is the two new heroes in Call of Dragons, maybe it's going to be a good to actually focus over Lee Kuan, I mean daily dues and tokens, because he's a hero from the strongest world, and Kuma on other side is a hero from the Wiki Spin, so you can afford delaying little the Kuma just because you can get it from the Wiki Spin, and you're gonna get a good amount of Kuma hits in the Wiki Spin, but you're not going to be able to do it with the Lee Kuan. So this is not awakening list. If you want me to make an awakening list, just let me know in the comments below. So I'm going to start with the place number 8, and this is going to be a Garwood. Everybody are familiar with the Garwood. This is a hero that I think is getting the most fights from my infantry, just because back in the days was a hero that everybody was using for merits trading. The main reason behind is obviously he's having a healing, so you can go with Garwood Ileana and do like 1 hour merits trading, just healing and small amount of damage. And that was one of the ways people was making the merits back in the day, especially if you are in the farming KVK and you want to get some pet coins, I mean pet skills from the merit shop. You definitely want to make some merits training. Merits farming, there is nothing shameful to do some merits farming if there is no fights. It's shameful if there is a fight in your KVK and you're doing merits farming at this time. Now, the other thing for the Garwood that I really like is the defense skills he's having. Obviously, it's not only the healing, also the damage taken reduction. This is helping to not Legion go down very fast, and yeah, this is the other reason why this hero is very good for merits farming, but also is providing some extra HP, defense bonuses. I'm not going to go that much in details, as from time to time I'm using Garwood with a Frozen Ring. The main reason is, again, just he's a good defender, let's put it like this, and he's in my rank list at the place number 8. The next place is going to be for Nika. Now this little how said little girl actually deserves a special attention. If you have her awakened, this hero become a truly unstoppable rally hero. If you have her awakened is mostly because of this spell. This is the main power of Nika, but again, you need her awakened, and this is when Nika Legion launches a normal attack. They have 50% chance to do extra damage. If the target is having 50% fewer than 50% units remaining, the physical factor is 500, can be triggered every 2 seconds. So if every second you're hitting for 2 seconds, you're going to make 2 hits, there is a decent chance one of these 2 hits to proc. So the proc chance of this 500 damage factor is crazy. This hero can do crazy amount of damage, and some people are using her in the rallies. The other thing about this hero, maybe the holistic spell that is doing damage to the peacekeeping damage bonus, but also hero XP bonus can go up to 10%. Like this, you're going to be leveling your hero way more faster. The main spell is also very nice, and that's why, again, she's also used it in the rallies, just because she's also having damage HP reduction, which can go to 20%. On top of that, the skill damage of the Nika is also nice, 1.5k. This is a season 1 hero, but still, compared to the other heroes in Call of Dragons, she's on the place number 7. Now I really wanted to give more points to Nika, but the main power of the Nika is coming when she's actually awakened, and this 20% HP reduction. We're having heroes that is having also HP reduction, but we're going to go there. On the place number 6, I think is going to be Skogo. Now, a lot of people are going to get surprised right now. I start seeing some of you start typing in the comments why I actually put Skogo on the place number 6, and the main reason behind it, this aggressive hero, way too aggressive hero. What I mean by that is Awakening is giving counter attack. Back in the days, Goresh and Skogo was the combo that actually put for the first time in the player's mind a focus over the infantry. This is one of the main reasons a lot of people actually focus over her, but what she's giving, the rage skill is giving HP bonus 15%, which is not that much, but still is for 6 seconds. If you get your rage for 10 seconds, for example 100 rage each second, you're going to cover 60% from the time with 15% more HP. This is not something game changing, let's start from there. Also is doing diffused counter attack damage, which again is aggressive skill and is not doing that much damage, to be honest. I mean, Legion do additional diffused counter attack damage. The duration can be 6 seconds. The HP bonus is going to be 15%. Now this skill maybe is not that bad. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that bad. But compared to the rest of the heroes that we're having in Call of Dragons, this hero is just for place number 6. Obviously here we have attack bonus can go 20%, HP bonus 10%, so a lot of HP here, we can see it. When in the field, Legion gets 60% rampage speed every time they launch Berserker charge and 1% attack, blah blah blah. Now the main important thing for the Skogo, and maybe it's one, I actually think Skogo maybe is going to be on better places, maybe at the place 5, to be honest. Right now, by thinking over this hero, even though that I make my list already, I think maybe just because cavalry people are also using Skogo with infantry, the majority are just using Skogo. They also put this artifact, Springbird Feather, and is giving some Legion mark speed 27%, which is very nice. And on top of that, is going to make your 5 Legion move faster. There is some synchronization in the speed, but still, from point of using her for infantry, for me personally, she's on the place number 6. If I add cavalry and how she's important for the cavalry, maybe she's going to be between place number 5 and 6. But for the infantry, purely for the infantry, I think she's on the place number 6. Now jumping over the next hero, which is going to be on the place number 5, and this is going to be Dunfell. For me personally, Dunfell is again one of the, it's not actually a new hero, but it's a hero that I don't see that much on the battlefield. I see a lot of Goresh Skogo, but Goresh Skogo, this Legion was built from so many players. So many players built Goresh Skogo, and when the Mogre and Dunfell come, people already have invested in the infantry, and the majority of the people decide to go with one Legion infantry, which is completely fair. So not many actually invest in the new heroes like Dunfell and Mogre. This is maybe one of the main reasons I don't see him that much. Oh my god, the shield is basically covering the whole body this bad boy is having. Why I really like Dunfell, is very good for the rallies, especially with the shield he's giving. Skill damage factor 1.6k, more from the Nika shield factor can go to 600, which is very nice. Now if we check it out, the rest of the skills, when in the field, the Legion and friendly Legion behind it get mercy every 10 seconds. Now specific for the Dunfell, he's having this shield, which I think is working extremely well with him, especially with the spells he's having. Obviously if he triggered this shield of Strudiness, a lot of your infantry is going to be behind him. Infantry units get some defense and HP bonus, which is pretty normal, especially for the heroes. Here we're having, when the Legion cast shield strike, the target Legion get debilitated and slow for 6 seconds. This slow and the target damage taken bonus is good. This one is good, but for the SWO, I don't know, in Call of Dragons, even if we have some good SWO, if it's under 80%, it's not like you're seeing this SWO. What I mean by that is, for example, when the infantry charge over some legion and they SWO them, you definitely can catch up this legion and maybe do some brutal amount of damage, but 20% is not something game changing. This is the awakening when dealing damage to the legion inflicted by Halfling Fury at 1 second to the duration. This is basically expanding this spell. Rather than Halfling Fury, yeah, maybe I forgot to actually say a couple words. No, I actually say a couple words over this spell. Target damage taken bonus, I think, is very nice. It can be applied also for the behemoths and for tournament, because in the tournament is like 5 against 5. People cannot move, they cannot control the troops there. So if you are precise where you're putting Danfeo, you can get some decent results in the tournament. Now this is on the place number 5. This is Danfeo. On the place number 4, I think is Mogro. There are many reasons for why I'm putting the Mogro on the place number 4. One of the main reasons is just because this bad boy is having this spell, which is reducing the HP by 30%. Some people are going to say, so what? Also, you know, Nika is having this spell, but this bad boy is also hitting Wash Out. Deal physical damage every second to the target and 2 surrounding legions in forward arc. This is very important because it's not going to be only for the target, this HP reduction, but it's going to be for the more. Why is important Mogro and why I put him on this place? It's just because from the front lines, I think the majority of the people start seeing that infantry and cavalry become more important from the mages. The alliances are not looking how many mages you're having, how many mages you send on the battlefield, or how many marksmen you bring. Everybody's looking how many infantry you train, what is your infantry pet, and also for the cavalry, is your heroes awakened, what is your artifact of your infantry or cavalry. The whole focus in Call of Dragons disappear from mages and marksmen and start being over Mogro, not Mogro, but infantry and cavalry. So having that big presence on the battlefield, the infantry and cavalry, just Mogro is shining like crazy. And that's not all. Even though that his HP reduction, the second spell, is when the legion inflict a debuff upon a target via initiate skill, basically one of these skills that the hero is having. We're not talking about the town skills. The effect is also transmitted to up to 2 surrounding targets. Targets are also prioritized for wash out and future effects transmission. What this means, hero skill damage do bonus can go up to 15%. This is in great support for the mages and marksmen who is behind the infantry, and they're going to just kill the infantry more faster. I think the first and the second spell is where Mogro is shining the most. It's still not enough for the first or second place, but this hero definitely was extremely needed. Now, other thing about the Mogro, since we're speaking about the infantry, I still believe one of the best garnisons is with Mogro. He's having the garnison tower tree. Obviously, you can build some pretty decent garnison. It was Mogro with Goresh. Right now I see people are using Kuma with Goresh or Kuma with Li Kuan. The main reason people are using Kuma is because of the HP draining, but we're going to go there. Obviously Kuma is in the top 3. Let's give some spoilers in the future. Now I decide to make this video like this so everybody can actually see the heroes and the spells. I can point exactly what I'm talking about. But maybe I'm going to do it next time just with the pictures and drag and drop these pictures. But yeah, I think Mogro for sure deserves place number 4. Now their spells is pretty generic. This is a passive one, infantry attack bonus, defense, ironclad effect buff can go 2% for the people who don't know what is ironclad. This is actually an infantry spell, and it's basically from Swordsman Alertness. They also have a 50% chance to get 1 stack of Ironclad. Each stack of Ironclad reduces rage damage taken by 5% for 15 seconds. 8 stacks. This is going to mean that this is like 40% what you're going to, I mean, just the default. What you're going to receive from the Mogro is actually a boost from for this Ironclad effect, because Mogro is very aggressive hero, so the game, I guess, is just deciding, okay, bad boy, here's little defense buffs there. On the place number 3, I'm going to point Lee Quan. Lee Quan ended up to be one of the best rally leaders in Call of Dragons. Not because he's having like 2 big swords in in his back, but just his skills. First of all, he's having the rally talent tree. Let's start from there. Second, the damage he is doing is a pretty decent one, 1.5k. Damage factor 700. Okay, it's like 1.5k. The WAS level. Scales with infantry HP bonus, 3 legions total. So it's hitting like 3 legions total. Temporary infantry unit HP bonus with a fixed duration obtained by during the battle. So this thing can do crazy amount of damage. This is one of the things. The second spell is when besides besieging cities or stronghold, the legion get 1% and ignore 1% from the enemy HP. I think Lee Quan is a needed hero for the rallies that we're seeing in Call of Dragons, for the big reports, and somehow to shift the big casualties a rallies receiving by attacking strong players in more normal casualties. And yeah, I think Lee Quan is built for the rally. Obviously, the best troop in Call of Dragons for the rally right now is actually infantry. That's why I think this bad boy deserves your attention. Obviously, this hero is going to be built by whales or krakens. Again, he's not from the wiki spin, and at the same time need to be awakened, so this means spending, but still. Now here we even have increasing of the damage factor is 1.7k. Again, scales with the HP. But also this hero legion also do 20% more counter attack damage for 3 seconds when this spell is triggered. If we for 10 seconds trigger a rage skill, this is going to cover like 30% from the time you're going to receive this 20% more counter attack damage. 30% actually counter attack damage from this hero. Very nice, very strong hero. But still, on the place number 3. On the place number 2 is going to be Goresh, and on the place number 1 is going to be Kuma. Now, why I decide Goresh? Goresh is maybe the hero that is these 2 heroes, Goresh and Kuma, is universal heroes. These heroes can be combined basically with everything, with every creature existing in Call of Dragons. Now, Goresh, great survivability, damage taken reduction 15%, very nice. Physical attack bonus 50%. I mean, 50% is crazy. Is crazy. It's for 6 seconds, so this is covering like 60% from the time the Goresh is going to have these buffs on him. When awakened is going to be 60% more physical attack damage, and damage taken is going to be minus 20%. Great survivability and also 60% damage. Brother, this is a big number. Big crazy number for the infantry. This is one of the things that I really like for the Goresh. Just by the first spell, he is ahead from the most heroes in Call of Dragons. The second spell is infantry counter attack damage bonus 20%, infantry defense bonus 15%. So again, this hero is extremely balanced, but in the balance, the skills that bring this balance are extremely strong. That's why I think he deserves place number 2. Obviously here we're having some extra damage he can do, and here is, you know, when besiding cities or stronghold, is a good hero for the sieging. Also the legion get some percentage attack if the target garrison includes an infantry hero. For every other attacking legion in the siege, this hero legion will get 20% chance up to 60% to inflict core counter attack damage minus 20%, can go up to 40% for 3 seconds. So from point of rally, this hero is also very nice. And finally, on the place number 1 is Kuma. This hero, I really don't know how the Cow of Dragons actually create this hero. I mean, this hero is extremely strong. That's why I actually focus over Goresh and Kuma. Now, what is important for the Kuma is the draining. You know, reduce the target HP when increasing the Legion HP. So you're basically transferring enemy HP to your Legion. This is absolutely crazy advantage. The important here is we're not talking about the single Legion. The Legion can gain HP bonus up to 50% by draining the target. 50% is crazy amount. Target, and up to 100% by draining other legions near the target. So he basically create a pool that is draining everybody HP. He's not doing damage, but in the same time he's weaker. He make all the legions around him very weak, which rest of the heroes is going to destroy this very weak legion. You do some blink play with 3-4 Kuma legions, you make a blink, you're going to destroy all of these mages and marksmen in no time. In no time. That's why Kuma deserve the place number 1. Just the first spell is crazy. And the sustain and the survivability of this hero is on the roof. Sometimes when I hit some infantry legion, you know, you start hitting and you're expecting, okay, you should be dead right now. But this hero just don't die. And sometimes I zoom in to see what is going on there. Is it some frost ring or something like this? And simply show me Kuma. This hero just don't want to die. This is crazy. But yeah, so far Kuma in my rank list or tier list in Cow of Dragons is on the first place. Now obviously he's having some other spells where the Legion heals once every 10 seconds in the battle, healing factor 25, can go up to 50, and receiving, and now I can go on and on with the rest of the skills, which is not something crazy, but the first skill is just making the Legion unstoppable. The good thing about the Kuma is he can be paired with basically everything. You can pair Kuma Goresh, you can pair Kuma Lee Kuan, you can pair Mogru with Kuma. I think Mogru with Kuma is also very decent combo, especially when a Mogru is applying this debuff minus 30% or HP reduction. You can pair Kuma with Skogu to trigger more her counter attack, and at the same time the survivability is going to be very decent with the Kuma. Just Kuma is the hero that you can also go with Kuma Madeline. Right now Madeline is not exactly infantry hero, but for the people who played Cow of Dragons from very long time, we all know that Madeline was actually an infantry hero. So yeah, just wanted to make this my small rank list, how I value each of the infantry heroes based on the reports I see on the battlefield and etc. The Legion that I'm going to build is going to be Goresh with the Kuma. I'm going to execute a Blink Strike with this Legion, and I'm expecting to be extremely effective. I see some crazy reports from Kuma 4-star and Goresh 4-star. People are getting like 120, 140k merits, something that I cannot even achieve with my mages. So yeah, let me know in the comments what is your personal ranking over the infantry, if you want to add something, or maybe you have different opinion over some other hero. Don't also forget to like the video, also subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content and you're looking for daily Cow of Dragons videos. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.